Let's do that. Who do we have on the line? Looks like we have Craig on the line. And Craig, you have a question for us on This Week in Startups, episode 51.
Hey, Jason.
How you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Where are you calling from? I'm great.
Upstate New York.
Upstate New York? Where?
Yep.
Syracuse?
Yeah, just outside of Albany.
Just outside of Albany, okay. And you're getting ready for a beautiful spring up there. Summer is amazing in the Catskills.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're calling from upstate New York, and you have a question for us. Let's hear it.
Okay, so I recently started a company called reloom.com. And my question is, what do you do if you have someone like a successful entrepreneur who wants to get involved in your project but can't currently commit full-time? Do part-time co-founders work, or are there better options for working with someone in this situation?
Okay, this is a great question. And the site is Reloom, R-E-L-O-O-M.
Yep.
Okay, and I have it up on my screen. And so your question, should you consider a part-time co-founder? What are the pros and cons?
Right.
Generally speaking, being part-time is okay when you're in the speculative stage.
Uh-huh.
However, once you get serious about something and you're going to put money into it, you're going to dedicate serious time to it, you're going to want to be full-time. Part-time does not work if you were going to open a restaurant, if you're going to do Google, if you were going to make a movie. You have to dedicate 100% of your energy towards the project. This concept of part-time entrepreneurship, generally that builds a dude business. And what I call a dude business is like dude in a website or a couple of dudes in a website, and they build it on the side, and maybe they make, a couple $1,000s a month from it or something. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But at a certain point, you got to get serious. And also, there's an inequity between the part-time people and the full-time people that you're going to have to deal with, which is you're going to be like, why is this guy getting so many shares in the company when I'm full-time and they're putting in 20 hours a week? It's better that everybody's 100% dedicated. Now, you do have times when people need money. And so maybe it's better to get half of them than none of them. And you just have to monitor the issue, and you have to talk it out in terms of equity. So what you need to say to the person is, listen, if you were full-time, I would be 50-50 partners with you. If you're going to be half-time, I would be 75-25 partners with you. If at some point you want to become 50-50 partners again, I am open to that discussion. We need to have it. We need to memorialize it in a letter agreement, a contract, something. And that generally works out pretty fair. What you don't want to do is just say, okay, we're partners on this project, and then you get into this resentment, etc. Put all the cards on the table, say how many hours a week you're working on it, tell them how many hours you expect them to work on it, agree on something, and then move forward. Tyler, anything to add?
From a macroscopic level, it's not ideal. I mean, historically...
Did you say macroscopic?
Macroscopic.
I think it's either macro or it's microscopic, one or the other.
No, it's microscopic and macroscopic.
Is it really?
Oh, yeah.
All right. I've never heard anybody say macroscopic, but okay.
You've heard me say it before. What do you mean you never heard
All
me
right,
say
well,
it?
somebody tell me in the chat room if actually Tyler's making up words again. But okay, in the macro perspective, there's a
Yes.
problem in...
Well, how many people have done this historically and done it well? What's the precedence for stuff like this?
Part-time people?
Yeah.
Well, if you look at
Part-time
YouTube...
co-founders.
Yeah, YouTube had 3 founders. One of them
good
left
point.
early.
Yeah, Jared.
Yeah, and he wound up getting, I don't know, $50 million. The other guys wound up getting $250 or $300 million. So in that case, I think the other 2 founders probably felt pretty bad about that. And there's a little resentment there. And nothing breeds resentment like success.
Cash, yeah.
And cash. So I think, yeah, it's one of those things where talking and being clear is the best medicine.
But I think you also would need to bake in some sort of understanding of maybe this person will have to fade off and not be participating, because there's, I think, a decent percentage likelihood that the person is going to potentially fade and not be able to participate.
And this is why you would do, this is why all startups do a 4-year vest. So even at Mahalo, my own company, my own idea, I have to vest 4 years. And why do they do that? The VCs say, you know what? Hey, if I'm going to put millions of dollars or tens of millions of dollars into this company, I don't want you getting all your stock and in month 9 or month 14 leaving and now you've taken a big chunk of the equity, and you're gone. What do we do? And so everybody has to vest, and that's what they should do.
Now, in my situation, this is like a successful entrepreneur who I'd really like to get involved, just because he has a lot of, experience and more clout than I would.
Yeah.
And I didn't know if does that change it at all? Like,
Yes.
Could I get him involved for other reasons?
He doesn't need to. This person, he or she, does not need to be a founder. They could be an advisor. So, what percentage of the company are you thinking of giving this person, and for how much work?
I think he could work maybe 10 to 20 hours a week on it.
Yep.
I don't know exactly. An advisor role is usually a very small percentage, right? I don't know if he'd be willing to do that or more.
Okay, so this guy's going to work quarter time on it. Well, a week, a month, let's call it.
Okay.
And what were you thinking of giving him for this?
Maybe somewhere in the 10% range.
If you think that he is going to put that week in for 2, 3, 4 years, you can express how you feel about this to him and say, I would like you to be a co-founder. I respect you. I think you'd bring in enormous value. And so I'd like to offer you 10% of the equity in exchange for putting in 4 years, just like I'm getting whatever you're getting, 50% or 80% after the stock option pool, for putting in 4 years. And I will vest the same way you will. And if you say it that way to people, and I like to do this myself in my own companies, which is be able to say, look, listen, I have essentially the same deal you have. I vest on the same terms, I have the same issues, etc. It just makes it easy. So just you can always fall back on that and put out the best, most fair deal you can and listen for feedback. And don't worry about silence when you're in a negotiation. Silence is your friend in a negotiation. So when you say, I think 10% would be equitable if you put in 4 years, then stop. Don't quiet.
Okay.
Just listen and wait. The amount of time he takes to answer, the look on his face, consider all these things and have this discussion in person, not over email or instant message.
Okay.
You understand why?
Yeah.
It's very easy for people to get upset over email, very easy for people to be snippy over instant message. All discussions about compensation, all discussions about equity should be had in person. All discussions about being hired, fired, resigning, etc. Best to have in person so that you bring that human element and you can see for that reaction. So good luck with it and keep us in the loop. What is Reloom? Give you your final plug here. What is it?
It's in the augmented reality realm.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, like TWiST from TechCrunch 52 years ago.
Yep.
Awesome.
And, like layer kind of, but what it presents to you is going to be a lot different than any of those.
Excellent.
So.
Well, we are big fans of the augmented reality, and certainly good luck with it. And I see that you have one follower on Twitter. You now have 2 followers on Twitter. And I'm sure the Jason Nation will sign up for the Twitter account Reloom. And I see that you've also selected people to follow, and you selected Reid Hoffman.
Yep.
Is that a little bit of a tell? Is that the person we're talking about?
No, he's just someone who I like a lot. So.
Oh, okay. I like him too. He's a great guy. All right. Good luck with it.
Thanks.